Okay, Brinson, start recording now. Or rather, don't stop it. The video starts now. This training will walk you through how to enter client contact information into the Power App, a system we use to track client data and ensure prompt responses to client inquiries. This system was developed in-house by our IT department in conjunction with the customer care team. Thank you for taking this training. Constituent Services Power App, User Instructions and How-To Guide. Each interaction begins with selecting the Customer Lookup button. Select the drop-down to search for an existing contact in our database. The search will pull up the matching record for the information provided. If the contact is not in our database, select the plus sign. Put in the contact's information and save by selecting the check mark to create a customer record. When you have completed the fields, select the check mark at the top to save the record. Once the contact's information has been added, you are taken to the above screen where you can view the record. All right, Brinson, let me try that part again. Once the contact's information has been added, you are taken to the above screen where you can view the record. To view the customer details, please select the arrow. If the contact is in our database, their record will show. To view the customer details, please select the arrow. The customer details section will list all of the previously inputted information. To add or view an inquiry, select the View Inquiries button, or to edit the customer details, select the pencil icon. To add an inquiry then, select the plus sign at the top. When you have completed the fields, select the check mark at the top. To send an automatic email to an office, the county must be selected and the corresponding, let me try that again, Brinson. To send one more time. To send an automatic email to an office, the county must be selected and the corresponding office must be indicated. Once a county is selected, the office will automatically populate. You must select Pending from Inquiry Status in order for an email to be automatically sent. When the information icon is selected, next to Office, the corresponding office phone number, office address, and supervisor name and email address will be pulled up. If there are spillover offices for a county, the pull-down will list both offices for the selection. Once the record is saved, the inquiry is now listed. If the status is listed as pending, it is awaiting resolution from the office or a specialist to be chosen as resolved. To view the inquiry details again, please select the arrow. The Inquiry Details section will allow for edits to the record by selecting the pencil icon. Example, to change the inquiry status or any information therein. Or you can manually email by selecting the envelope icon in the upper right corner. To return to the customer lookup screen, select the home icon. Priority inquiries. All above steps remain the same for priority inquiries. All inquiries will default to normal unless otherwise selected. When an inquiry is set to the priority of Governor's Office, Executive Office, or other, a high priority email is sent, and when before it can be marked resolved by the recipient, a mandatory response is required. I'll read that again, Brinson. All above steps remain the same for priority inquiries. All inquiries will default to normal unless otherwise selected. When an inquiry is set to the priority of Governor's Office, Executive Office, or other, a high priority email is sent, and before it can be marked resolved by the recipient, a mandatory response is required. Unlinked inquiries. For calls that do not require a customer record to be, one more time, Brinson. For calls that do not require a customer record to be created, an inquiry only is one more time. For calls that do not require a customer record to be created, an inquiry only is created instead. To not save a customer record, one more time. For calls that do not require a customer record to be created, an inquiry only is created instead. To not save a customer record, my Lord. One more time. For calls that do not require a customer record to be created, an inquiry only is created instead. To not save a customer record and create an inquiry, select Skip to New Inquiry at the top. A standard inquiry will open to input the information regarding the call. Also, any information that is initially put in the new customer section, example, name, phone number, email, or notes, is automatically added to the description section. To view an unlinked inquiry, select the View Unlinked Inquiries box. Inquiries that do not require a customer record to be saved are listed in this section. For example, calls for GVRA HR or Disability Adjudication Services or Georgia Industries for the Blind, i.e., a one-time inquiry where we do not need a permanent record. My Inquiries. Select My Inquiries to view your inquiries by default, and also the inquiries of any other user of the Power App. To view other users' inquiries, select the down arrow next to the name and select the individual you'd like to view the inquiries for. In the Inquiry Lookup section, the search can be done by looking for all, resolved, pending, or completed inquiries. Select the arrow on the side to view the inquiry details. The inquiry details shows all items from the inquiry. To edit the inquiry, select the pencil icon. Emails. Below, you'll see an image of, okay, let me try this again, Brenson. Emails. Automatic emails sent to office supervisors, direct managers, and one more time. Automatic emails sent to office supervisors, district managers, and division managers will appear like the above. The recipient will be able to select the Resolved button to auto-close the inquiry. This screen is what the recipient will see when the inquiry is resolved. A notes box will allow any information from the recipient be placed back into the inquiry. This is the email that will be received by the case owner when the receiver puts in a note regarding the resolved inquiry. Power App details and specifics. When inputting data creating the customer record, do not use dashes or hyphens for the phone number, and make sure email addresses are proper. If those items are not properly formatted, you will not be able to save the record. An email is sent to any pre-selected individuals within our GVRA divisions. An email is initially sent once the An email is sent to any pre-selected individuals within our GVRA divisions. An email is initially sent once the inquiry email criteria has been met and the inquiry is closed. If the inquiry is still in pending status after 48 hours, a reminder email is sent to the initial individuals, letting them know. If the inquiry remains open for 5 business days, a third email is sent to the initial individuals, the district manager, and the VR director. For office supervisors, the criteria pending equals yes and office is not blank. Let me try this again, Brenson. For office supervisors, one more time. For office supervisors, the criteria pending is yes, and the office is not listed as blank, means the email will be sent to any number of individuals associated with that office. For division managers, criteria for them to receive an email will be, for VR, if pending is marked in yes, and the inquiry type is marked as a complaint. For all other divisions, an email is sent if pending is marked as yes, and the inquiry type is marked as a complaint or a question. The email will be sent to any individual associated with that division. One email is sent that includes all people in the to field. Anything sent from our executive office, the governor's office, or other will need to be selected as high priority for the inquiry priority box. The box will automatically default to say normal. An email to the respective office supervisor, district manager, or division manager. That's not a sentence. Let me try that again, Brenson. Anything sent from our executive director, no, let me try this again, Brenson. Anything sent from our executive office, the governor's office, or other will need to be selected as high priority for the inquiry priority box. The box will automatically default to. Emails sent will be indicated with the red. One more time, Brenson. Emails sent will be directed with the red exclamation mark high importance icon and will require one more time. Emails sent will be indicated with the red exclamation mark high importance icon and will require the receiver to put notes into the inquiry before it can be closed. Users can select the Information Eye icon on the inquiry screen next to Office to obtain the location's address, phone number, office manager, and district manager. If a county has 2 or more possible office selections, each will appear. Inquiry emails sent to offices can be closed by the email recipient by selecting the Mark Inquiry as Resolved box. Once closed, the email recipient will be able to provide notes to the inquiry if necessary. Return notes are then posted on the initial inquiry in the description box. For priority emails, the Mark Inquiry as Resolved screen will require notes if the inquiry is marked high priority. Automatic emails are sent when creating new inquiries and can be sent after editing an inquiry assuming the conditions are met. County, office, requires response selected. When an inquiry is created or edited, a notification displays at the top of the screen informing the user whether or not an automatic email is or was sent and to which set of managers. Lookup items can always be copied or pasted to pull up information. The pending The pending indicator will stay at yes to let the user know an email was sent for an inquiry. If an editor update has been performed, If an edit update has been performed and an email resend is needed, the pending button will need to be switched to no and then back to yes. GBRA and general inquiries. On the customer lookup screen, there is a button at the top that says View Unlinked Inquiries. That brings you to the inquiry lookup where it will display all inquiries that were not linked to a customer record. You know what, Brenson? None of this feels important. So after I read this section, this is the email that will be received by the case owner when the receiver puts in a note regarding the resolved inquiry. Cut it and then add what I'm about to say. And finally, it's important to remember that when inputting data, creating the customer record, never use dashes. Actually, let me start over, Brinson, with this section. So again, you're adding it after here, after inquiry, resolved inquiry. Okay, start now, Brinson. When inputting data, creating the customer record, remember, do not use dashes or hyphens for the phone number and make sure the email addresses are proper. If those items are not properly formatted, you will not be able to save the record. Thank you at this time for taking this training. This will be an ongoing effort. No. Brinson, cut after record. Let me say the closing and then you can stitch it together. Okay, Brinson. Thank you for taking this training. As you become more familiar with the system and additional questions arise, please know that the customer care and external affairs teams are available to assist you along the way. Have a good day.